All right, folks, happy Thanksgiving. It is Wednesday morning. Huge week of football coming up. One of my favorite weeks of the year with Thanksgiving. We got a lot of food, a lot of drinking, and most of all, a lot of football. And so it's going to be a great week. A lot of big games this weekend with some huge playoff implications. And the 90th anniversary of the first ever Thanksgiving game that took place between the Detroit Spartans and the Chicago Bears in 1934. And a rematch this weekend of that very first game between the Lions and the Bears. And do you know that the Lions have played every single year since 1934 with the exception of a 4-year break for World War II? But in this one, we have the Lions favored by 10.5 at home. I think the Lions right now are the best team in the NFL. I think they got to be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I love the way they ran the ball last weekend versus the Colts. I love their weapons. And without Aiden Hutchinson, which I thought that injury was really going to hurt them, their defense is playing really well. Colts couldn't do anything last week. Anthony Richardson looks terrible. But this week, I'm going to take the Bears plus 10.5. I'm going to take the points. I think Caleb Williams has played his best 2 games of his career the past 2 weeks. They should have beaten the Packers 2 weeks ago, and they should have beat the Vikings on Sunday, and I think he's playing really well over the past 2 weeks. So I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to win by about a touchdown, but I'm going to take the Bears plus 10.5. Tomorrow night, big game, Dolphins at Packers. And the Dolphins, since Tua's come back, have played really well. They have the most efficient and highest scoring team since Tua has come back to the lineup. I really love the way he's playing. Jordan Love, to me, is a little concerning. He has thrown so many picks this year. And last week, he threw a pick, and he had 2 more that should have been picked off. They hit the defenders right in the chest, and they just couldn't hold on to him. But in this game, the Packers are favored -3. Did you know that the high for tomorrow in Green Bay is 31 degrees? It's going to be around in the 20s for game time. We know Tua does not thrive in that weather. They're a team largely based on speed. I love the way the Packers can run the ball. Josh Jacobs right now is 3rd in the NFL in rushing, and I am going to take the Packers -3 at home versus the Miami Dolphins on Thanksgiving night. Big game in the NFC North. We have the Bengals at home versus the Steelers. And it seems like the Bengals have been playing must-win games for about a month now. And this is another one. They have to win this game to keep alive in the wild card race. I love their offense. Their offense is very high scoring, but their defense is really porous. Now, going against Russell Wilson, I don't think that makes a whole lot of difference. The Steelers really struggled last week against the Browns. They had a really hard time protecting against Myles Garrett. I am going to take the Bengals -2.5 at home versus the Steelers. Possible Super Bowl preview. We have the Eagles at Ravens. And right now, I think Saquon Barkley should be in the MVP conversation. Right now, I would have him slightly behind Josh Allen and slightly behind Lamar Jackson, but I think he's got to be in the conversation. And I want to give you a couple stats. So right now, if you extrapolate his rushing stats right now through an entire season, he's on pace for 2,151 yards, which would be the NFL record. Granted, the NFL record was set with a 16-game season. He now has a 17-game season, and he's on pace for about 21 touchdowns. Now, let's take a look. Only 3 running backs have won the MVP over the past 20 years, and I want to take a look at their stats. So 2012, Adrian Peterson had 2,097 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's going to blow that touchdown number out of the water, and he should have more yards than that if he stays on this pace. 2006, LT won the MVP. He had 15 rushing yards and 28 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to get to that touchdown number, but he should be over that rushing number. And in 2005, Sean Alexander had 1,880 yards and 27 touchdowns. So I think he's going to be right there or above the previous 3 running backs who've won the MVP. And to me, he's the most valuable player on this Eagles team, a team that's played really well. I am going to take the Eagles plus 3 on the road versus the Ravens. They are very good at rushing, and the Ravens' weakest spot on their team right now is their rush defense. Teams seem to be able to rush it very well versus them. They are pretty weak in that position, especially if Roquan Smith cannot come back. He missed the game Monday night. I don't know if he's going to be back for this one. And then finally, the 49ers at the Bills. This could be another cold weather game. Right now, the Bills are favored by 7. I think this is another must win for the 49ers. If they want to have any chance of reaching the playoffs, they have to win this game. This is going to be an extremely tough game on the road versus Buffalo. Brock Purdy should be back. I have not heard on Bosa. I'm going to take the 49ers +7. I think the Bills win this game, but I think it's going to be very close, and I think Josh Allen has a great game versus a team that's really struggling on defense. Last week, Josh Jacobs had the record for the season record for the most broken tackles in one game. Josh Allen, as we know, is very tough to bring down. I think the Bills win this game in a very close game, in a game that looks like it's going to be cold and snowy. I am going to take the Bills to win, but I'm going to take the 49ers to cover the 7 points. So that's what I have happening this weekend. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to everyone Sunday night.